Audrey Assad.
Did you grow up Catholic?
I didn't. I was raised in a small denomination called Plymouth Brethren, which is like I compare it to Quaker in a lot of ways because it was very kind of insular, and we didn't necessarily even believe that like Baptists were like really on the right path, you know? Mm-hmm. We were very we have the way, you know? It was a very interesting way to grow up, but that's how I was raised. High school and college years, I kind of started to question that a little bit, read things, and I just didn't even know that the church was as big as it is. And so I started going to a Baptist church, leading worship there. I started going to a Presbyterian church at one point, and I led worship there. And all of those places were very different. You know, like I grew up singing hymns only, a cappella.
Whoa.
No worship. I never heard a praise and worship song until I was like 17 years old. I've evolved quite a bit, obviously, on my understanding of the kingdom and ministry and like how it looks. At the same time, they really taught me to value the Word of God in the Bible, and to value the tradition of hymns, and so that is extremely influential on my music, because it's all that I knew my whole life until I was almost 18 years old. Actually, I used to have a really big insecurity about my voice itself.
Are you crazy?
Well, let me just finish, because what it is that I associate worship leading with big and like bombastic and kind of like power, where people step out. I've seen women, you know, who these big voices will step out and like command the room. It's like
totally.
And I used to have a real insecurity about that because I can't do that because my voice is small. It's smaller. It's like it has a more gentle side to it. And now I've come to really embrace and lean into that and say, like, that's what I have to give, though. I think people in certain frames of mind need a moment to chill out and try to still their hearts. And so that's really kind of what I focus on, because I think it's what my gift is. And I used to be insecure about that, but now I kind of feel like, okay, I've become at home in that much more.
I need to be real up there, you know, and worship has to be okay with me questioning things. Because let's just be real, everyone does.
Totally.
And to have someone stand up there and be all put together is the most like
so
unnerving.
Well,
like
it perpetuates this idea that the church is this community of people who, like, I grew up feeling like what it meant to be a Christian was you believe all the right things. Yeah. And you don't worry about it. It's like it's not a stressing point for you ever. And it's not my lived experience, you know? I almost always make a point of taking a minute to confess publicly what's happening inside. Because I find when people do that, and I'm in the audience or the crowd or whatever you want to call it, you know, the congregation, and people do that, it disarms me. Because I'm like, okay, now I trust you because you're not
real.
Up there preaching, selling some kind of snake oil to me. You're expressing we're all humans, and we're here trying to encounter this God we are pretty sure is real. But what circumstances and inner doubt tell us is not real. But we're here trying to find this together. Wherever we are in that spectrum. And I think that's so disarming. And so I always try to make a point of doing that. And it's usually clumsy, because one thing I always feel like I don't really totally know how to say it, and I'm always like, it doesn't matter, just open your mouth, you know? People will appreciate the vulnerability, I think.
I love it.
So
it's so good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for taking
welcome.
the time and sharing with me. Bye.